We have a very special caller. Caleb is now joining us. And Caleb, I read about Caleb in the New York Times. And Caleb was, the story was so fascinating to me because it was about how YouTube has taken over a young person's brain and manipulated thoughts and how this algorithm controlled what he saw and gave him biased viewpoints. When I read this story, I thought, we definitely need to talk to Caleb on the Kim Komando Show. So Caleb, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Kim. It's nice to be on.
So when this all happened, how old are you and what was going on in your life?
Well, when I first got involved with a lot of, they call it red pill ideology online on YouTube, I was 21 years old. I had just, I dropped out of college and I was back at home really in a depressed state, kind of searching for an identity, searching for communities. And I was under this impression that I could cure my depression. And so to do that, I went to the only resource I had available, not having health insurance, not having good emotional support structures. I went to YouTube and I found a content creator by the name of Stefan Molyneux. And it was through watching his content and through watching others' content, I began to take on this red pill ideology, which a lot of people would know as the alt-right.
So were you searching for, what were you searching for initially?
Well, I was in such a depressed state, and my anxiety was bothering me, my depression. I was going through cycles of depression, and I wasn't getting out of bed. I was hardly eating, and I was staying up all night, sleeping all day, and I just wanted it to end. I just wanted that pain to go away, and so through searching through YouTube, I started finding all this self-help content, and it was from there that Steph got into my algorithm.
And a lot of these self-help, I guess I'm saying authorities with quotes, by the way, okay? Was it like a father figure?
Yeah, absolutely. So Steph, he had a similar childhood to mine. He had a lot of similar trauma to mine. And he was, this 50-year-old guy who was respected. He had a large podcast. He had a successful career before the podcast. And I looked up to him and, having family issues of my own, I saw Steph as a father figure and I really just absorbed the things he was telling me. And he was teaching me all sorts of things like there's, biological differences that we can explain all the outcomes for people in society through their race, that we can explain all these different things through race, and that we should, basically categorize people by race. There was other theories that, feminists were taking over the world and SJWs and cultural Marxists were taking over the world. And there was a lot of these conspiracy theories that he was giving me, but I was taking them as facts because I'd really put him up as an authority figure.
And once you watch one of those videos, right, Caleb, I mean, then the algorithms kick in. And so I know if your folks are listening, you're not familiar with the algorithms, that these are very sophisticated. What you watch and what you see next is directly related to a lot of factors. It's not random by any means because the statistic that I had seen is like 60, 70, maybe even 80% of people, they hang out on YouTube and they watch the next video, and then every time you watch a new video, YouTube makes more money, right? And so once you saw those videos, I would assume that the algorithm kicked in similar videos?
Yeah, so the way it works is, he would have guests on his show. And when he would have those guests on, he would have a nice, cordial conversation with them. He would agree with them. And then I would see them as an authority figure because, I trust Steph and Steph trusts them. And then also, besides the platforming of the collaboration with other content creators, and oftentimes people that were further to the right than Steph, the algorithm would kick in. And the way the algorithm works is like you described. It looks at the things that you're watching and it tries to find things that are similar to that so that it can feed you more videos. And the purpose of it is only to sell you ads. YouTube doesn't care what ideology you pick up. They only care that you watch more YouTube videos. And these content creators are very good at getting into the algorithm. They know how to game the algorithm, basically. And during that period, that's what was happening. I was getting fed more videos through the algorithm, which they appear on the homepage of YouTube, and they also appear on that little sidebar to the right.
Yeah.
And also through the collaborations that Steph was doing with other guests.
And so how many hours a day were you watching YouTube?
At the height of it, at one point, I was working a job where we were allowed to wear headphones. And so at the height of my YouTube consumption, I would say I woke up in the morning, got in my car, put in my headphones. I got to work, listened to my headphones for about 8 hours.
Wow.
I'd get home and I'd listen. I was listening to YouTube pretty much at the height of it every waking hour. I'd say over at least over 12 hours a day.
So it's kind of like you were getting constantly brainwashed.
Yeah, I was getting a constant stream of information, and what these content creators were doing within the alt-right and what I also call the alt-light movement is they repeat the same things over and over again in very long videos. So you're constantly hearing the same things over and over, and it starts to seep into your head. And they also wall you off to other information. They tell you can't trust the mainstream media, you can't trust the liberal media or the leftist media. Right. And they tell you that you have to come to them for your news and for your information.
So how did you break the cycle?
So it was, again, the way I broke it was I was consuming a lot of YouTube. And there was this YouTuber that came across my algorithm by the name of Destiny. His name's Stephen Bennell. And he's a Twitch streamer it's a gaming platform. And he has this very crass personality. He has this very like forceful way of debating with people. And he started to debate a lot of the people within the alt-right movement and the alt-light movement. And that's how he got into the algorithm, because he was going on their shows and they were going on his shows.
I see, and that's, that's interesting that you did that. But real quick, before I leave you, tell me about, because you hear that music, I got to go to a break, but tell me about the de-radicalization work that you're doing now.
Yeah, so right now I am working on a Discord server. It's an online platform, and I have a team of people there where we're attempting to de-radicalize young people from this movement. And so we do that by what causes radicalization. I want to say this real fast. It's social alienation. It's economic issues. It's not necessarily the ideology that people care about, but it is the
it's a whole stream of consciousness. And so, Caleb, what we're going to do is post a link to your forum over at Komando.com for anybody who knows somebody like this. Get them some help and seek it out online with Caleb. He knows exactly what to do. Hey, thanks for watching. Now, a few things. Don't forget to click the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for more digital know-how, check out all these other great links.